Hello and welcome one and all. The atmosphere building very nicely here. Gorgeous, gorgeous evening. The skies are clear, the noise is fervent, the atmosphere frenetic. I'm Peter Drury and it's a pleasure to be alongside Jim Beglin.
Thanks, Peter. It's a pleasure and a privilege for me to be here.
Colours vivid and vibrant, songs loud and proud. The tone for this game is well and truly set. Well, as you can see, we've already started here.
In a system like this, Peter, the winger-fullback combinations can be absolutely crucial.
Yeah, and no doubt you can expand on that for us, Jim.
Well, there's just so many potential options and movements. Overlapping, underlapping, wingers vacating spaces to be occupied by fullbacks, coming inside, creating overloads down the middle on either flank. You get those right, and this can be a very effective system.
A tried and tested formula.
And believe it or not, Peter, we even did that back in my day.
Looking for the run. Now it's Yamal. Some excellent tackling here, and that one a perfect example. And here's Thuram. Knocks it into space. He's on it. Can he get away? Looks across and plays it in. Marquinhos calmly anticipates. Thuram goes steaming forward. Oh, good spread. Great chance! Superlative from Pedri! Sumptuous finish, an absolute joy! One sweeping move executed with deadly efficiency.
Well, it's an example of counter-attacking at its finest. Real cut and thrust.
So the game's first significant moment, and it's come earlier than perhaps we anticipated. Kvaratskhelia is onto this. That's a good run down the left. Quarter of an hour played. And here's Thuram. And that's been intercepted.
He read that really well and stopped it.
He can run onto that. Pedri. He's through. Now is he in? Can he finish? Oh, taken with style. They are really purring here. And they have extended their lead in the blink of an eye. The invitation was clear, and it was accepted with the utmost glee.
Way too good, Peter. Too quick, too smart for that defence, who were made to look a little lost, in all honesty.
Borussia Dortmund are now luxuriating in a two-goal lead.
And things are much healthier in their favour. Mind you, you would have thought that when the last one went in.
Passing is crisp and sharp. Gravenberch does really well to win the ball there. Well, the movement is slick, the speed is slippery. The defence, though, able to hold on this time. That's a good ball. Alexander-Arnold did just about enough to come out on top there. Neither party overly willing to compromise.
Well, I wouldn't quite advise they should resort to risk-taking at this stage. There's plenty of time left yet.
It looked as though that might lead to chance for a shot! And he has kept it out somehow.
Lamine Yamal clearly thought he had the beating of the keeper.
Played out to the right. Yamal going face-to-face with his great rival, Alexander-Arnold. Alexander-Arnold got a long way forward to join the attack. Not the most accurate pass. Thuram receives it in a good position here. Oh, that's fabulous. Stood up well to him there. Bruno Fernandes. Osimhen. And it's DiMarco. And it's DiMarco. The ball's gone astray. Osimhen DiMarco gets into some space.
Yeah, I think if that can be repeated, there's a good chance of a goal.
Approaching half-time and still behind. Can they make something happen now? Alexander-Arnold. Yamal. Into the final 5 minutes of the first half. Now it's Thuram. And here's Kvaratskhelia. Real chance! And it's there! And they are pulling clear here. The lightness of step, the sharpness of movement, the certainty of finish.
Yeah, that's what the game is all about. Excitement and entertainment. What a lovely moment.
3-0 and things are starting to look awfully cosy. Rice. Now DiMarco. And it's Rice. Oh, it's a promising build-up. There's plenty of really nice passing. This looks promising. Takes a shot! It's a goal! Speed of thought, efficiency of movement, and certainty of out. And the whistle goes for half-time. So off we go once more.
I think it'll be fascinating to see how they're going to change their approach here. They have to go for it and try.
Tries a shot! Oh, that's a foul in a dangerous area. And that's going to be a booking.
Yeah, well, they were exposed and vulnerable, and he knew he had to do something to prevent a goal then.
Rice is behind this one.
Peter, the keeper knows that even if his wall is perfect, it doesn't serve as any guarantee.
Matches Cunha! Van Dijk with the clearance. Marquinhos. Bruno Fernandes. Oh, cracking ball. Pedri. And here's the chance to counter. He has found the way through. Can he finish? And it's in. There was no getting to that. No getting to it at all. Expertly done.
Well, Peter, I think the keeper knew straight away he was never going to get to it.
Borussia Dortmund blast themselves into a 3-goal lead. He's in a great position here. Well, it didn't look good for a while, but that was brave defending and they got away with it.
You know, it was an intervention that had to be made. Serious trouble lay in store.
Oh, good read.
That was well played, well stopped.
Now it's Osimhen. Looking for options for movement. Well, he's not happy with that challenge, but the referee has let it go. Rice. Tries to play it through.
Might want to be
He's
careful
well
there.
Nothing wrong with that tackle. Ball won cleanly. Knocks it out wide. There will be a throw-in. Oh, that's nice. And it's Kimmich. He's free, he has got space. Matches Cunha! And for sure, that was not one of his best. So, time for changes on both sides, actually. Rice. Alexander-Arnold. That is good strength. Alexander-Arnold with the challenge, and he has given away a free kick. Van Dijk. Van de Ven. Pedri. Gravenberg. And it's Alexander-Arnold for Rice. And here's Thuram. Short changes him with that pass. Kimmich. Oh, it's a nice idea, but the execution was lacking. And here's Osimhen. Alexander-Arnold. And he's whipped it across. And a shot! And he's only too happy to... And one more try! He has done it! Players ecstatic, fans delirious. This is utopian. And that's it. So many thanks to Jim Beglin. That's all we have time for. Good evening to you. Hello and welcome one and all. The atmosphere building very nicely here. Gorgeous, gorgeous evening. The skies are clear, the noise is fervent, the atmosphere frenetic. I'm Peter Drury and it's a pleasure to be alongside Jim Beglin.
Thanks for that, Peter, and may I say a big hello to everyone.
Well, the stage is set for a stirring showdown here. The supporters in great voice, and there's a real sense of anticipation in the air. Game on. The action has already started. According to what we've been told, this is how it looks. It's 4-3-3.
Well, a system promoted by the rise of total football, Peter. The wider players in the front three are key operators in how it all works on and off the ball. They have to provide for the central striker, of course, and protect their fullbacks, so they'll get few breathers. If these two don't make a good impression, there are quite good replacements on the bench.
And here's Bruno Fernandes. DiMarco. Plays a sharp little ball here. Well, he has slightly undercooked that one.
Borussia Dortmund clearly should have gone for the easier pass. Now they'll have to quickly regroup.
Thuram! Oh, that was a brilliant save.
Thuram actually didn't do an awful lot wrong, to be honest.
Tries to get it clear. And it's Rice. Oh, that's a fine interception.
Well, he got rid because he was under pressure.
Who do you, Jim, see making the difference here?
This guy, Declan Rice, is a player I really rate. With him, you get exactly what it says on the box. A workhorse defensive midfielder who likes to stay in the deeper part of midfield, knowing his primary job is to make sure he shuts down any build-up play in that area.
He would be the obvious choice, wouldn't he? He certainly has all the right qualities. Thuram, and he's straight offside. Rice. Oh, it's a promising build-up. He's having a shot! And he has kept it out somehow.
That's very, very good. You can't ask for much more than that.
Rice plays it short. Ball driven towards the far post. Van der Ven gets it away. Oh, shooting chance! Decent enough try.
Yeah, he may have snatched at that a bit, even though it was quite close.
That's an untidy challenge. Free kick given. DiMarco. Played in. And that has been cleared. Played out towards the right wing. Played back in. If you have just joined us, well, you've missed no goals. And the counter is on. And it's James. Good ball, good take. James crosses. And that has earned a reprieve for the time being. Good read, needed to be. João Neves. And there's his chance to lead the counter. And that's put paid to a promising move. James. Tries to pass it through. And he's had it nicked away. Matheus Cunha.
Whatever happens, that's the kind of movement which raises hope.
Osimhen is in a really good position out wide. Up he goes! It's there! And a trademark move ends with the inevitable classy finish.
Yeah, when you're hit on the counter-attack like that, it's like walking into a sucker punch and they're dazed.
So the first goal of the game.
Well, I guess this ought to make things interesting, Peter. No doubt the opposition will now be forced to play a more open and riskier game.
Oh, that's a key interception. Rice. Osimhen. Well seen. Saw that coming.
He read that really well and stopped it.
Kimmich kept his eye on it, and he's there.
That's just playing it safe and simple.
Well, it just petered out. No penetration at all, having had a great deal of the ball. Well, there was an element of promise insofar as they kept the ball well, but they did very little with it. And that interception was most necessary.
That's great positioning. So good from him.
And here's Osimhen, Bruno Fernandes. And that's been intercepted.
That was well played, well stopped.
And it's DiMarco. In by DiMarco. And it's safely in the keeper's hands. And that'll be the last act of the first half. A very combative, competitive half with just the one decisive moment. It's been compelling stuff. Some first half thoughts?
Well, this is when you need your players to step up, Peter. Be brave, see all that courage. They need to have a big start to the second half to give them some momentum. And they're not going to get that if they're being too risk-averse.
Leading a cagey game here. It's had its moments, and it's 1-0 at the break. There's the start of the second half.
Well, if you're ahead, it's a good time to start moving the ball quicker, Peter. Entice your opponents out. See if you can open them up a bit more.
Out towards the flank. It's crossed into the middle. And here comes the corner. This their second corner of the game. They've played it short. Rice. Oh, good read.
He read that really well and stopped it.
And now a sudden chance to counter. And it's Neves. Matheus Cunha. And the whistle's gone, presumably for offside. Time for a change in personnel.
Well, I think he'll undoubtedly add more movement and fluidity in the final third with his passing range. Just as I thought, Peter, it looks like this is a side that's setting themselves up for a counter-attack.
Yeah, stand by for the early ball, the big one over the top.
Yeah, and those that are up top, Peter, have to be willing to chase. And, of course, those in midfield have to be ready now to recycle.
And they have got just the right players for that. And here's Thuram. Played out wide. Back into the middle. He's found a way through. Tries a shot! Now that is commitment to the cause.
Well, look, they know they've got a height advantage, and it's time for them to use it.
And it's been taken short.
Well, he certainly wasn't in the mood to take any risks.
Rice. And here's Osimhen. Foden. Marquinhos gets it clear. Marquinhos did just about enough to come out on top there. Neither party overly willing to compromise.
Well, the box was just so congested there, Peter. There was absolutely no space to work with.
Gets a good foot in there. Well timed, excellent interception. Gives it back, knocks it out wide. Rice.
Thuram really needed to concentrate on protecting the ball. Then again, he was being very closely marshalled.
That's the throw. So, Jim, what are you thinking?
Well, Peter, if they're attempting to see out the game with such a narrow advantage, there's room for trouble. I just think they're sending out the wrong message. This could backfire.
Pedri. Well, the manager might be thinking of shuffling his pack here.
It's about risk-taking and boldness now. Are we going to see any activity from the bench?
He's gone for goal! Gorgeous from Thuram. That is a gem! An absolute gem! And with the match slipping away, they have hauled themselves off the canvas. And that is about as cool as they come. He picked his spot expertly.
That's expertly finished, and he's done that so often.
We have got changes here, from both sides in fact. That has certainly made things interesting.
Well, this is to be expected, Peter. When you've got two strong teams of fairly equal standing, the outcome should all come down to finishing.
Just eases him off the ball. Pedri. Pedri takes control of it and he's on the move. Foden. Real chance! They want to be quick to recover this. Crosses it in. Defending of the desperate variety.
Don't you just love the level of intensity here? Neither is prepared to back down, and to be honest, that's how it should be.
James is very much the model of the modern-day fullback. Bit of an appeal, but nothing doing. And that's been intercepted.
That's great positioning. So good from him.
Oh, good-looking ball. Marquinhos kept aware, and it is reclaimed easily. So what can they make of this? Driving on and making good progress. He's in a great position here, and it's Rice. And he was alert to it. Cucurella gets good distance on it.
They're avoiding the blatantly obvious by not getting the ball into the opposition box. That's where it has to be.
Decent chance! And the keeper couldn't hold it. Oh, nearly, but nearly is nothing.
Well, he looks a little annoyed with himself, Peter, but he hit it well enough. Better look next time, maybe.
Rice. Not the most accurate pass.
I think we might be done here, Peter. I don't see there being enough time for them to try again.
Floated through. Rice. Szoboszlai. Added time going up here. It's 3 minutes. Alvarez. And Cucurella. Great vision. It's a promising position. Oh, he's managed to get himself offside.
You can never be short of runners into space, as long as the space left behind is filled.
And he shoots! Oh, what about that? Late in the day, this could well be it! What? Referee looks at his watch and blows his whistle. A game that is a tale of one that got away. A position of great promise they established, but they lost momentum, they lost intensity, they lost their lead, and ultimately they lost the game. So what do you take away from it all, Jim?
Listen, despite the loss, they have to take something from this. I think the coach will have seen things he needs to work on. So I'm sure they have a lot of sorting out to do before the next game, and they can get there.
So many thanks to Jim Beglin. That's all we have time for. Good evening to you. Hello and welcome one and all. The atmosphere building very nicely here. Gorgeous, gorgeous evening. The skies are clear, the noise is fervent, the atmosphere frenetic. I'm Peter Drury, and here with me in the commentary box, I'm glad to report, is Jim Beglin.
Thanks, Peter. It's a pleasure and a privilege for me to be here.
Well, it looks like a big game, sounds like a big game. Everyone involved is absolutely up for it. And already we're underway here. Van Dijk gets his final warning.
Yeah, and he has to change his ways, or this referee could soon change his status.
And we have our very first corner. Rice with the short one. And that's aimed into the middle.
That was well seen too. Good clearance.
Good ball, good take. Now, what about a counter-attack? Now that looks a decent ball. Marquinhos makes the interception. Jim, you've played in games of this nature. Who can make the difference?
Trent Alexander-Arnold is one of the more productive players around, despite being a defender. When you look at his stats and see his contributions, you can realise how key a player he really is. And I suppose in many ways you can call him the perfect example of the modern fullback.
I wonder whether that has anything to do with you being a defender once upon a time, Jim. They're back in possession and ready to go again. Matheus Cunha tries to play it through. Real chance! He scored! That was a given. It always was.
Osimhen really can't believe his luck. He was allowed so much room when he should have been boxed in.
So the game's first significant moment, and it's come earlier than perhaps we anticipated. Well, that's beautifully weighted. Alexander-Arnold. And the two sides separated by the game's only breakthrough moment to this point. 1-0 the score. He's found a way through. Mbappe! Sticks it away! And the lead lost no time at all.
Yeah, and analysis of the goal should take a back seat to the importance of a committed reaction. This is wonderful to watch.
Wonderfully smooth, smart and slick.
Well, it always comes down to the telling final pass, and that was a beauty.
Borussia Dortmund grabbed the equaliser, and we're all square.
Well, I think the players will be buoyed by the fact that they've managed to level things in a hurry. Tails most definitely up now.
Oh, well played, well sorted out. Van der Ven looking for a runner. Kimmich cuts out the pass. Now it's Thuram. That's a lovely, neat pass. Now this could be a chance. Great vision. Osimhen was alert to the possibilities, but in the end it's fruitless. Mbappe receives it in a good position here. Still very early doors, but it is a closely contested affair. And it's Neves. Can he get on the end of this? Takes a shot! Oh, that was no routine save.
Well, someone's doing his job properly, Peter, that's for sure.
Corner number 2 then. And he's cut it out. Pedri gets it away. Now it's Rice. Played in deep. And the goalkeeper's got a good palm to that. And now they can spring out of defence. And that's put paid to a promising move. He is through here. Rice. Oh, that's an excellent interception. Rice. João Neves. Now it's Osimhen. Mbappe pinches it off him. Mbappe unable to make it happen for all his good intentions. And here's Thuram.
Well, that's good defending. He squeezed the play and he gave him no chance to get on the turn.
Pedri. Rice. Bout of passing here. Can he finish? Goal! Borussia Dortmund! And the comeback is complete.
Oh, what a lovely exchange, Peter. I mean, he did the give and go, and that's just a lovely return ball. The weight of it was absolute perfection.
Borussia Dortmund take the lead.
Yeah, I always felt this was coming. There was a clear increase in both intensity and tempo. Now all they need is to try and maintain it.
That's a pretty loose pass. João Neves. Thuram. Now João Neves. Thuram. Oh, that's fabulous. And it's Kimmich. And it's Neves. Now it's Matheus Cunha. Knocks it out wide. Bellingham. Oh, that's well spotted. Marquinhos. There's the whistle for half-time. So, engaging and still right on edge. Plenty of signs to suggest this will turn out to be a really good one. The midway point of the game.
Well, Peter, I'm just thinking of the best way to describe that. Frantic, frenzied. It was unmissable and it was irresistible. Forget about the analysis on this one. Just enjoy it.
And that's the start of another 45 minutes.
Well, I think in these circumstances, it's all about how to adjust the balance of your team. I mean, you want to get back in it as soon as possible, but without leaving yourself too open.
Now it's Thuram. João Neves. Here's Matheus Cunha. That's good vision. This looks promising. He's one-on-one, and the shot! A potential goal of the season contender, if only.
Well, I'm glad he took the opportunity to run with the ball when the chance came about. That's the kind of positive thinking they need right now.
Oh, good read.
That was well played, well stopped.
Borussia Dortmund are looking to go forward now. Oh, shooting chance! Good run, lovely take, but that is where it stopped.
Thuram deserves a lot of credit for his willingness to make those runs. The passers will always have an option with him.
And a shot! In for the pieces! Oh, that was a brilliant save.
Really looked sharp there, didn't he? That's very well played.
So their fourth corner of the game. And now a sudden chance to counter. Still they trail, and time is ticking away. Bellingham. Pedri. Oh, super ball! There's the shot! They've done it! 2 up now, and they are cruising. One sweeping move, executed with deadly efficiency.
Look, if you want to be effective on the break, then the key element is always pace. That's what really rips defences apart, and it's difficult to find an answer to it when it's applied like that.
Well, that has changed the dynamic somewhat.
I wonder if the manager is tempted to go for another and really kill the game off completely. I, for one, think he should now.
And here's Kvaratskhelia. Kvaratskhelia will not want to lose out here, not against this opponent.
Well, it's a move of great promise, but will it really prove productive?
João Neves. Bellingham finds himself offside. Alexander-Arnold clears. Kimmich. Aimed beyond the defence. Back into the middle. And a chance! Bruno Fernandes. And it's Pedri. Engages and forces him off the ball. Matheus Cunha. Nicely weighted ball. No, not quite on the same wavelength. DiMarco. Bruno Fernandes. Matheus Cunha. Quality ball.
Whatever happens, that's the kind of movement which raises hope.
And no, that was never going to make it. Rice. Bruno Fernandes. Passing is crisp and sharp. Gets a good foot in there. Now it's Osimhen.
Yeah, they were looking for a counter-attack.
And here's Mbappe. Alexander-Arnold. Kvaratskhelia.
That's positional gold, the utilisation of space.
He's in a great position here. Tries a shot! And the ball's come loose here. Rice. And it's Bruno Fernandes. Now João Neves. And it's DiMarco. In the end, they found themselves penned in, nowhere to go. Now he's got space here.
You can never be short of runners into space, as long as the space left behind is filled.
João Neves.
They'll want to make the most of this turnover.
Goes looking wide. Van de Ven. Kvaratskhelia. João Neves. That's a little off target. Well, now here's a good battle, but he's gone for goal! Sensational from Bellingham! A finish of true class! And they are cruising away. It is a good finish. The odds were against him. Little matter.
Well, he had to deal with an awful lot of unwanted attention, but his tenacity won the day.
Matheus Cunha! And the referee brings it to a close. Well, what a game. Unpredictable to the very end. Momentum shifting this way and that. The kind of match, as neutrals, we all love to come and see. So what do you take away from it all, Jim?
Well, there was a distinct lack of clarity or commitment in everything the players were trying to do. Looking pretty lethargic, and they were ruthlessly exploited and deserved to be.
Many thanks to Jim, and with that, it is a very good night to you.